everyone, and welcome to my booktube channel. I'm C1 and I love to read. Today I'm going to be doing a New Year's book haul. I know it's a little bit late, but I got these books around the New Year's when I was taking advantage of sales, and I have a lot of books here, so I'm just going to dive right in. The first book that I've got here is Mortal Remains by Mary Ann Fraser. This is about a girl named Lily who works at her family's funeral home doing makeup for the dead. And one day an explosion happens and the neighbor's house is leveled, and she remembers how the boy named Adam who used to live there had saved her once. And then a boy shows up who claims to be Adam, but he can't remember her and he can't remember much about his past. So they work together to delve into his past and figure out where he came from. Next I have The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is a spin-off from the Cruel Prince series. It follows Oak, who is now grown up, and he meets this girl in the human world who is actually the child queen of the Court of Teeth, and together they end up returning to the fairy world and going on a mission together. I'm really excited to read this because I loved the Cruel Prince trilogy. I flew through that. It was one of my favorite reads of 2023, so I'm really looking forward to this book. Next is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This book is about a siren who ends up killing one of her own, and as punishment, she is forced to become a human and live in the human world. I love anything with sirens in it, so I'm really excited to read this book. My next book is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This book follows a girl named Avery, and she ends up inheriting this massive mansion and a fortune, and the only stipulation is that she must move into the mansion, which unfortunately is inhabited by the 4 boys who were disinherited. I've heard really, really great things about this book, so I'm excited to read it. I know I say that about all of them, but I am excited to read this. I think it's gonna be on my February TBR. Next, I have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is about a girl named Signa whose dead mother ends up appearing to her, claiming that she was murdered, and Signa takes it upon herself to look into this claim. And in order to do this, she ends up making an alliance with death itself. Next up is We Are All So Good at Smiling by Amber McBride. This book follows a girl named Whimsy who meets a boy named Fairy, and she recognizes that they both possess magic. They end up living next to each other, and they are terrified of the forest at the end of their street, but nonetheless they explore it. The inside jacket reads, "Here is a harrowing and soulful novel in verse about depression, friendship, fairy tales, and how we are never as alone as we believe." I'm really interested in the fact that this is written in verse. I've never read a verse novel before, so I'm really interested to read this and see how much I like it. Next is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This follows a girl whose mother dies in an accident, and she goes to this residential school because she wants nothing to do with relatives or her past life. Her first night on campus, she witnesses a magical attack, and a mage tries to wipe her memory but fails to, and she discovers her own inherent magic, and she discovers that her mother's death might not have been an accident. My next book is Cinder and Glass by Melissa de la Cruz. This is a Cinderella retelling, and I love fairy tale retellings, so I'm really interested to read this and see what kind of twists and turns the author puts in. And I've also heard really good things about de la Cruz as an author, so I'm excited to read this book. Next is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This book follows Emilia and her twin sister Vittoria, who are both witches who live in plain sight. And one day, Emilia finds Vittoria murdered, and she sets out on a quest to discover who did it. The back says 2 sisters, 1 brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. I'm really intrigued by this book. I'm really intrigued by the cover. I'm really intrigued by the story. So I'm hoping that this will be a good one. My next book is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. As you can see, I've actually read this already. I read this in one night. It was so good. It's a historical fantasy that follows these 2 journalists, and they slowly fall in love while writing letters back and forth to each other, although one doesn't know the other's identity. I immediately bought the sequel to this on my Kindle so I could keep reading it, and it is not disappointing. Next is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. This book is an LGBTQ book, which I love. It follows a boy named Yadriel who is searching for the ghost of his murdered cousin, and instead he finds the ghost of a boy named Julian Diaz, the school's resident bad boy. Yadriel agrees to help Julian with the things that he needs to do before he can move on, but they end up falling in love. My next book is A Wilderness of Stars by Shea Earnshaw. This follows a girl named Vega, and she is the last astronomer, the only one who can understand the knowledge of the stars. She's been sheltered her whole life by her mother, never leaving her little valley, but one day she sees an omen in the sky and she's forced to leave the valley. The tattoos on her neck mark her as the last astronomer, and this attracts some attention from nefarious people, and she's rescued by a couple people who have secrets of their own, and they go on this adventure together. My next book is Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. This follows two sisters who come from a family whose job is to protect magical books. One day, their father dies while reading an unknown book, and they go on a quest to figure out why. It says that this is a dark academia in the tradition of Ninth House, The Magicians, and Practical Magic, so I'm really excited to read it and see what it's all about. Next is Namesake by Adrienne Young. This is about a girl named Fable who is sailing on a ship. She's just gotten free of her father and she's trying to reach her destination, but in order to do so, she needs to make a bargain with a gem trader named Holland. She ends up finding out that the secrets her mother took to the grave are now putting everything that she's worked for in danger, and she has to risk everything in order to save the people that she loves. Next is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is about two rival magicians who end up falling in love. I'm really intrigued by the plot of this book, and I do love an enemies to lovers, so I'm really excited to read this. Also, I adore this cover. Next, I have This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. This follows a servant girl named Lisa and her forbidden romance with the prince Cameron. The inside jacket reads, This Woven Kingdom is a story of clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen who must claw her way through darkness to reclaim her throne, rebuild her kingdom, and save her people from the half-lives they've been forced to live. My last book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book is about a girl named Addie LaRue, and she is cursed to live forever, yet never be remembered by anyone that she comes across. As you can tell, I've already started reading this and I'm really enjoying it. I love V.E. Schwab's writing. I've read several of her other books and I'm really excited to see where this one goes. So that is it for my New Year's book haul. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of the books that I got, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!